Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Moon Knight or Kate Bishop, and like and subscribe for a bigger brain next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Brainiac, conqueror of the galaxy and villainous threat to not only Superman, but the entire Justice League. I don't power build here, I just try to make the most accurate version of a character possible. But Brainiac is the ultimate being, the final destination of evolution and the peak of intelligence in the galaxy, so power building's gonna be in character today.
They're Pinky and the brain.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need the big brain with massive intellect to outsmart our foes. But what if we just had less foes to outwit? We should grab some mind control. That seems smart. Finally, we'll get some backup plans. The smartest thing you can be isn't a robot or an alien. The smartest thing you can be is prepared. For stats, we'll be using the standard point buy from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Strength, constitution, and most obviously, intelligence need to be high. Intelligence, because your name is Brain. Strength and constitution, because you still fist fight Superman pretty regularly. That means low dexterity, wisdom, and charisma. You don't win hearts and minds with persuasion, you get a little overwhelmed when you perceive the world beyond your ship, and you don't really care about fireballs, you just eat them. Brainiac is an alien that would eventually merge with some robotics, but we'll just go custom lineage and merge with the heavy metal later. That'll give you a feat like telepathic to boost your intelligence by 1, allow you to communicate with creatures telepathically within 60 feet of yourself, and you can cast detect thoughts once per long rest for free. That lets you read surface level thoughts of a creature and probe deeper if they fail a wisdom saving throw. Considering you can boost your intelligence to 18 with your 2 free points, yeah, you're gonna be able to do that. Grab athletics for your skill of choice and modify the sage background for arcana and intimidation. We're still gonna get history, we can just get that from the starting class. That starting class is Artificer, letting you grab 2 skills like history and investigation to put your big brain to work. You're a magical tinkerer, letting you put tiny magical effects into tiny non-magical items, messages, puffs of smoke, that kind of thing. You also get proficiency with thieves tools, tinkerer's tools, and another set of tools of your choice. I would say smiths, since you started working in robotics. For your cantrips, message lets you whisper to a creature within 120 feet of you, and they can whisper back, stretching your telepathy further at the cost of an action. Thorn Whip will let you get your tentacle on, making a melee spell attack with 30 feet of range, dealing 1d6 piercing damage on hit, and pulling a target up to 10 feet closer to you. For your first level spells, Cure Wounds heals 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier to a creature you touch. If you want some regeneration, you're mostly going to be touching yourself. With an intelligence score that high and a charisma score that low, I'm not surprised. Catapult lets you yeet an object at a creature, forcing a dexterity saving throw on them. Failing that, they take 3d8 bludgeoning damage. With telekinesis, you can make thrown weapons good by not using thrown weapons. Second level artificers get infusions, special toys that make you better than the tiny-brained earthlings. Enhanced defense adds 1 to the AC of a set of armor. Right now, the best you can rock is medium, so that just takes away your dexterity penalty. Still, pretty great for what's going to be a caster build. Enhanced arcane focus adds 1 to your spell attack rolls and lets you ignore up to half cover to tentacled people behind corners. Goggles of Night lets you see in the dark with your bad custom lineage eyes, and a bag of holding lets you carry a ton of stuff, so you can pick up souvenirs from the worlds you conquer. The first 2 are more important, but hey, you can only infuse 2 items per day anyway. At this point, we're gonna jump over to Wizard. We need a lot more spells, and wizards get more spells. Artificers don't get mind control. It's a great Bailey School kids book. For your cantrips, Mind Sliver forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take a d6 psychic damage and have a d4 penalty to their next saving throw. It's a great spell to chain together, but we'll get even better later when we have some mind control. Mending puts 2 pieces of something back together, which will help you make heavy robots later. Yeah, it won't, it's just flavor, but it's kind of fun. Mage Hand lets you lift small objects with a floating spectral hand. Who couldn't use an extra hand in the lab? Literally. For your first level spells, I've often said that Charm Person isn't mind control, and it isn't. It just charms a humanoid, making them agreeable to you and giving you advantage on charisma checks with them. We're only at first level though. Total Brain Overhaul is a little more high level. Silvery Barbs lets you give a creature disadvantage on an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw as a reaction, then give another creature advantage on their next ability check, attack roll, or saving throw within 30 feet of you. That can be you. You can pair it with Mind Sliver to give a creature disadvantage and a minus d4 penalty to a saving throw when we later get mind control. Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction if you'd rather protect yourself from an attack roll with a psychic shield. Unseen Servant creates an invisible buddy that can do chores for you. Polishing all that stainless steel in your ship can't be easy. You've got better things to do. Cause Fear forces a wisdom saving throw. Failing that, the creature is frightened of you for a minute depending on your concentration if you'd rather just stop people from getting close to to you. Magic Missile shoots 3 darts that hit automatically, dealing a d4 of force damage each +1. Missing is not very big brain. Second level wizards can choose a school. The School of Enchantment sounds so whimsical, but it's also the best for total mental domination. First, you get a hypnotic gaze, forcing a wisdom saving throw on a creature within 5 feet of you, charming them and preventing them from moving if they fail. You can keep this up with your action on your next turn, but it ends if you move more than 5 feet away. Just take someone out of the fight. I would say Superman, but in D&D he's not all that great. Go for someone stronger, like Green Arrow. For this level spell, Featherfall lets you prevent up to 5 falling creatures from taking falling damage. It would be a shame to lose one of your mental puppets to something as silly as fall damage. Comprehend Languages lets you understand all spoken and written languages. You can't speak them, but it'll help when you're traveling the universe. Third level wizards can learn second level spells. We already have Detect Thoughts, so I'm gonna suggest Suggestion. That lets you force a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they have to complete a harmless task you give them for the next 8 hours. You have to make it sound reasonable, so you're probably not gonna get Batman and Superman fighting each other, but you could get them to clear out a garage while you conquer the world. Crown of Madness would be better for hero on hero violence, forcing a wisdom saving throw on a humanoid. Failing that, they have to attack a target within melee range that you choose. You use your action on following turns to maintain it, and they have to re-roll the saving throw every turn as well. Still, this takes a heavy hitter off the other team and makes them hit their teammate heavily. Fourth level wizards get an ability score improvement, letting you cap off your intelligence super early. We could have done it earlier if we didn't want to start off as an artificer, but trust me, that was a big brain play that will help us out later. For this level spell, Mind Spike forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 3d8 psychic damage, and you'll always know where they are. Batman likes to be sneaky, but it's not like the Galactic Conqueror is going to get bamboozled by a billionaire furry. Levitate lets you do some more mental heavy lifting, lifting objects of 500 pounds or less with your brain, or even people. If the people don't want to go up, they can make a Constitution saving throw to resist, so maybe Mind Sliver round 1, then send them up so they can't move. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells. Enemies Abound forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they cannot distinguish friend from foe, attacking whatever they can and picking their target randomly. They also have to use their reaction for an opportunity attack if they can, which should take the heat off of you. Counterspell lets you shut down spells of third level or lower automatically, and higher level spells with an intelligence check of 10 plus the spell's level. That's why you don't need dexterity. You can pass the fireball save with your brain. Sixth level enchantment wizards get Instinctive Charm, letting you force a wisdom saving throw on a creature attacking you as a reaction. If they fail, they have to divert their attack to hit the closest creature to them that is not you or them. I'm pretty sure by the end of this build, it's just going to be against the rules for creatures to attack you altogether. For this level spell, Tongues lets you speak all languages and communicate with creatures that speak at least one language, upgrading Comprehend Languages to be a bit more useful. Sending lets you send a message of 25 words or less to a creature somewhere on the same plane, or even on another plane with a 5% failure rate. Maybe call in some reinforcements for Earth. For some reason, there's a Kryptonian here, and he is way stronger than the other ones you killed. Seventh level wizards can learn fourth level spells. Charm Monster is like Charm Person without the humanoid restriction. As great as humanoids are, sometimes having a dragon is more helpful. Rathalume's Psychic Lance forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature you can see or name within 120 feet of you, dealing 7d6 psychic damage and incapacitating them until the start of your next turn. So if you chain it together, you can just wreck someone and never let them attack you. 8th level wizards get an ability score improvement or a feat. The Heavy Armored feat gives you +1 strength and proficiency with heavy armor. You need medium armor proficiency for this, which is why we started as an artificer. Now, you can rock +1 plate mail for 19 AC as a mage. That's pretty ridiculous. For this little spell, Summon Construct lets you summon a robot friend to help you do violence. The stats are in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's easier for you to read it than it is for me to go through the whole stat block. Besides, it's a summoning spell, so we're trying to get the hands-off approach. Can't I be a little hands-off here? Confusion forces a wisdom saving throw on creatures in a 10-foot radius. Failing that, they have to act randomly on their turn, rolling a d10 to figure out what they'll do. On a 1, they move in a random direction. On a 2 through 6, they just do nothing. On a 7 through 8, they make a melee attack against a random creature, and on a 9 through 10, they can act normally. This bamboozlement lasts for a minute depending on your concentration. Just stir the pot a little bit. The brain pot. 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells. Dominate Person lets you fully dominate a humanoid that fails a wisdom saving throw, making them follow your orders and even taking direct control with an action on your turn. Again, don't go for Superman. Go for one of the stronger members of the Justice League like Hawk Girl. Telekinesis lets you lift objects of 1,000 pounds or less with your brain. If those objects are a creature, you can make a contest of your intelligence and their athletics. Unlike Levitate, you can also swap targets, and creatures falling from the lifting do take falling damage. It's always fun to make someone plummet. to their doom. 10th level enchantment wizards get to split enchantment. So spells that would target one creature hit two creatures instead. That means dominate person becomes dominate people. Psychic lance becomes psychic lances. It spreads the love around if love is mental trauma. For this level spell, synaptic static is like a fireball of psychic damage, forcing an intelligence saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius, dealing 8d6 psychic damage to those that fail. But since it's 2 levels higher, it's gotta be 2 levels better. Creatures who fail that save take a d6 penalty to their attack rolls, ability checks, and concentration saves for the next minute, or until it can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of its turn. Considering how many people dump intelligence, this can make so many characters so much worse at fighting. Not even martial characters, charisma and wisdom casters generally also ignore intelligence. Big B's hand makes a big, forceful hand with 20 AC and as much HP as you have. It can punch people, push people, grab people, then crush people, or make a little wall. There's a lot of cool uses for it. It's a pretty handy spell, but the specifics take a while, and this video is already going to be long. 11th level wizards can learn 6th level spells. Mass suggestion is like suggestion, but for 12 people, 24 hours, and it doesn't require your concentration. So you can cast it, have 12 people build you a monument, take a long rest, wake up, and cast it again. It's super nasty, especially with your high save DC. Mental prison forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature, dealing 5d10 psychic damage if they succeed. If they fail, it's even better for you. If they fail, they take the psychic damage and perceive the area surrounding them as hazardous, and they're restrained inside. If they move out of the area, they take 10d10 psychic damage, giving you a wonderful combo. Cast the spell, deal 5d10 psychic damage, then Thorn Whip the next turn to deal 3d6 piercing damage plus 10d10 psychic damage. That's the kind of damage that gives me a headache. 12th level wizards get another ability score improvement. Grab the skill expert feat for +1 to an ability score like Constitution, expertise in a skill like Arcana to double your proficiency bonus to those checks, and another skill like Nature for a solid grasp on biology. You are trying to conquer biological life, after all. For this level spell, Contingency lets you cast a spell of 5th level or lower that can target you and activates sometime in the next week, or when something you determine triggers it, like casting Cure Wounds on yourself when you drop below 10 HP or something like that. It's just a great way to spend extra spell slots if you end the day with some. Sunbeam forces a Constitution saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot line, dealing 68 radiant damage to those that fail and blinding them, half damage and no blinding if they succeed. It lasts for a minute, letting you spam the same laser over and over again every round you maintain concentration. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most practical. 13th level wizards can learn 7th level spells. Simulacrum lets you make a duplicate of a creature with half the hit points. That creature is friendly to you and will obey your commands. You could duplicate yourself for 2 Brainiacs, which is pretty horrifying because 1 Brainiac is already pretty strong. Power Word Pain instantly inflicts pain on a creature with less than 100 HP, capping their speed off at 10, giving them disadvantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws except for Constitution saving throws. They have to make a Constitution saving throw if they want to cast a spell without just wasting the slot, and can end the effect by making a Constitution save against your massive spell DC, maybe with a penalty from Mind Sliver as well. 14th level enchantment wizards get Alter Memories, letting you make a creature forget that you charmed it and even forget a number of hours you charmed it equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 hour. So it's 1 hour for you, your charisma isn't great, but Brainiac doesn't need to be sneaky. You run around up front and dominate people's brains. For this level spell, Teleport brings you and 8 other creatures to somewhere on the same plane you're familiar with. The more familiar you are with the location, the more accurate the teleport. Maybe send a scout out first. Finger of Death forces a Constitution saving throw on a creature, dealing 7d8 plus 30 necrotic damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. If the creature drops to 0, they become a zombie under your control for another free assistant. So many assistants, such a small payroll. You must be giving them college credit or something. 15th level wizards can learn 8th level spells. Dominate Monster is like Dominate Person without the humanoid restriction, so you can get Crypto on your side. Nobody is gonna hit Crypto, he's the super dog. Feeble Mind deals 4d6 psychic damage to a creature, then forces an intelligence saving throw on them. Failing that, their intelligence and charisma scores are reduced to 1, and they can't cast spells or communicate. They know who their friends are and will try to protect them, but if you used it on a spellcaster, what are they gonna do, flail at you? Don't worry, they can re-roll the saving throw 30 days from now, so it's not a permanent thing, just a very, very long thing. Oh, and they make the save with 1 intelligence, so they're not making it. 16th level wizards get another ability score improvement or a feat. We'll go for the tough feat. We could grab more Constitution to help our concentration checks, or Warcaster for advantage on the saves, but you got +9 to the save already, that's pretty good. And the tough feat will give you +2 HP for every level you have, and every level you get after that, which will also give your simulacrum of yourself more HP. It's the gift that keeps on giving, more of you to give yourself more gifts. For another clone, grab the Clone spell, which lets you start growing a clone of a creature. When that creature hits 0 HP, their mind moves into the body of the new creature and they're good to go. Now you have a half-powerful clone that can run around while you're alive, and a full-power backup body, meaning that anyone who wants to kill you has to do it 3 times. Power Word Stun stuns a creature with 150 HP or less until they can pass a Constitution saving throw. That means, while they're in a stupor, you can hit them with Mind Slivers and Silvery Barbs to make them worse while their brain melts out their nose. This is a mean build. Brainiac's a pretty mean guy. 17th level wizards can learn 9th level spells, and there are 2 fantastic Brainiac options. Foresight gives you advantage on every check, attack roll, and saving throw for 8 hours, and your enemies have disadvantage on attacks against you. Being psychic just kinda makes you better than everyone else. Psychic Scream is another decent option, forcing an intelligence saving throw on up to 10 creatures, dealing 14 d6 psychic damage and stunning those that fail, half damage and no stunning if they succeed. Also, it drops their HP to 0, their brain explodes and they don't get death saves. It's quite literally mind-blowing. Our Capstone is the 18th level of wizard for spell mastery, letting you cast 1 first level spell and 2nd level spell at will without spending spell slots. Normally, I recommend shield, but I think Silvery Barbs might be even better since it also makes you better. For your 2nd level spell, Suggestion is already great, but Suggestion as a cantrip, that's silly. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you can pump out intense psychic damage, which is also one of the least commonly resisted damage types. It's a very smart investment. Next, you can make your enemies fight themselves, which means not only is some of the heat taken off of you, but they're going to be weaker when they eventually break out of your control. Finally, you can make people fight 2 of you at the same time with Simulacrum, and your Simulacrum has over 100 HP, since you have over 200 HP. With 19 AC and Silvery Barbs as a cantrip every reaction, god this is busted. For weaknesses, once you run out of slots for counterspell, your dexterity is bad, so Meteor Swarms could destroy you. You also have a lot of concentration spells and can only have 1 up at a time, even if you're really good at concentrating. Finally, a lot of your spells are charm dependent, and several creatures are immune to charm fully, with a lot of things having at least resistance. So that's what the giant psychic damage is for. Control the lesser minds and explode any potential intellectual rivals. Just make sure you protect the worlds you're conquering. Nobody wants to see an apocalypse. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Moon Knight or Kate Bishop, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.